Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Habill hamdani. In this video, I would like to discuss about a study in Detroit city. Detroit study actually conducted by some people like Shu and Wolframs. And Wolframs follow up the study in 1969, and he got some findings which are worthy for us to study and comment in this present context. According to the Wolfram, the basic of the sociolinguistic method is that of correlating with social and linguistic variables. And this study based on the materials collected during the Detroit dialect survey. And the Detroit study investigated the use of multiple negations as a linguistic variable in that city. So what is the multiple negations? Multiple negation is there are two negative elements contradict or cancel each other to produce an affirmative interpretations as the result. And what is the linguistic variable? Linguistic variable is the variable values of words or sentence in natural or artificial language. For example, age, let's say age. Age as variable like kids, teens, adult, young, and etc. Let's say young. The young also has the variable like too young, not young, very young, quite young, and etc. That's my understanding. So the study shows this that there is a very close relationship between multiple negations and the social class. And social class here divide into two big part. The first part is upper middle class and lower middle class. And lower middle class also divide into two part. There is upper working class and lower working class. So there is four classes in this research, and Wolfram get some data and and has the presentations in the using of negations of each classes. And for the example is the upper class or upper middle class also use the negations only about 2 persons, and on the other hand lower middle class use in the 11 persons, and upper working class in 38 persons, and lower working class with the highest presentations in 70 persons. But it doesn't mean that upper middle class with the lowest presentation with 2%, it doesn't mean they are avoid the multiple negations. But in fact that there is no classes use one variable variant to exclude another regardless of the circumstances, and therefore speaking in any social class is basically variables. And Detroit and the investigated in Detroit clearly shows that although individuals or a person shows that a number of inconsistency in their linguistic behavior, but there is a pattern of behavior that shape it or make it. For example, when the situations becomes more formal, so the individuals or persons in linguistic usage comes closer to the standard one. So they are speaking in the standard one. And when the situation and if the higher the social class of the speakers, so the more standard the behavior of the speaker. It means that if you are in the higher social classes, so you are more standard in behavior of speaking. And Wolfram research aimed to shows the distribution of linguistic variables correlates with factors such as social class, gender, age, and race that is origin in the Detroit. And Wolfram also has collected data by take the data from 7 to 100 subjects, and they use about 48 black subjects here. So it is focused only for the black people actually, and originally used in the Detroit study, plus 12 other white subjects. And I will show you the table. Okay, it is the table 7.7. Informant used in Wolfram study. There are some part of this table, such as social classes, age, race, and gender. And social classes consist of 4 classes, like upper middle, lower middle, upper working, and lower working. But in the social classes, in the upper middle, there are 12 white pupils and also 12 black pupils. But actually, 12 white people here it's not they are not included to this research because Wolfram's only focus on the black people. So each classes have 12 people, and okay, we will see the statistic of the data. Okay, now we are in the statistic data. The statistic is the percentage of Z absence in the third person singular present tense agreement in the Detroit Black speech. And after identifying the group, Wolfram then tried to show the different characteristics of linguistic behavior. He investigated for phonological variables such as simplification of the final word consonant clone, and he also investigated for grammatical variables such as the zero copula. And based on the statistic above, Wolfram showed the absence of Z in the third person singular tense marking. There is no significant differences between the two groups, between the upper middle and the lower middle classes, and also between the upper working and the lower working classes. On the other hand, there is a high significance differences happens between upper middle, lower middle classes, and upper working and lower working. We can see the lower middle and upper working. There is a high significance differences. So we can say the upper working and lower working is to use the absence of Z in the third person singular present tense agreement. Okay, we will next to the next statistics, and now we are in a new statistic, and the statistic is the percentage of R absence in words like farm and car in the Detroit Black speech. And the previous statistic, there is a great differences in usage of the Z between the middle class and the working class people in the Detroit. And this statistic, we can see there is no high significance differences, except the upper middle to lower working. There is a quite high significance, but up just from upper middle to the lower working. But actually, the another factors that make this not too effective, because the number of the subject only 12 subject, but it's quite enough. And based on Wolfram and Fasold argue that in this case of R absence in the statistic, we have an example of the what they call guardian stratifications. It is like a regular step like progressions in means which match social groupings. In the previous case of Z, we have a sharp stratifications or the big stratification, but it is a clear break between a particular pair of social groupings. And the first kind of stratification is said to be typical of the distribution of phonological variables, and the second kind to be the typical of grammatical variables. So Wolfram's general findings in the Detroits indicate that social status is the single most important variables that correlates with the linguistic differences, and with clear boundaries between upper, middle, and working class. But however, uh, in each class, women use more a standard and formal form of language than men. But I don't know, in this book, doesn't shows the data and the certifications of the statements. So yeah, I think that's all for my explanation about the study. I do apologize for my mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.